Well, the two headlines for our brand new week will be the big-time warm-up and also the better chances for rain over the next couple of days. Starting out with some clouds and the low chance of a passing shower mostly north of the lake for our Monday morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy sky and we're near 70 by the afternoon. Only dipping down to around 50 overnight. High temperatures for our Tuesday in the mid and upper 60s, but we do have the chance for a few passing showers as well. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
For 42 years, Johnson's Parts and Supply has been your Auto Plus auto parts store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus auto parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Fern Hill Baptist Church is a traditional fundamental congregation located in Troutman. Hear them Sunday mornings at 8:15 here on WSIC. Listen on demand, WSIC FM.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
All systems are a go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina State Representative Jeff McNeely is about to begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Iredell County. Good to see everybody out at the polls. I hope they keep coming. It's not been a lot, but it's been some. So if you're going to vote, this is your last week of early voting until Saturday. And then we're off on Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday's the big day, March the 5th. So I hope you come on out and vote. This is one of your freedoms, folks, that you have. There's not many left. I hope you take advantage of it. Hey, got a good show today, but a little different. I think I put out on Facebook this morning a special secret guest, which would happen to be me. Working out at the polls, had a man come up to me, told me I hadn't done we won't use the word he said, but darn thing, let's put it that way. And that really kind of shocked me to a point because I felt like I've worked as hard as I know how and fought with COVID-19 situations and budget impasses and everything. So the second part of the show, and we're going to take calls all show long. I know I've kind of blocked everybody out the last couple of weeks trying to get candidates in here, but I wanted everybody to hear from people that they should vote for. Let them make their choices. I think the only way to do that is to allow people to hear what the candidates have to say and understand the issues. So I hope it's been beneficial to some of y'all that listen, or all of you, really, tell you the truth. But, right now, we're just going to be you and me, as the old saying goes. And it's 704-873-1400 if you forgot the number of the last couple of weeks. But give us a call. Love to hear what you got on your mind. We're going to talk a little bit the second half of the show. I got about 30 things that I basically put down on paper of things that I did help with, either sponsored, co-sponsored, wrote bills, pushed them through committees. So just want to let you know maybe what I have done, since some people maybe believe that I haven't. I think they were given false information. Well, a lot of different things are going on right now. One thing I didn't get to talk about that's happened in the last couple of weeks was the special prosecutor, come out and basically said that Joe Biden wasn't fit to stand trial. And, the left all the whole time with the classified documents issue had said, that he did nothing wrong. He was innocent. This was just a witch hunt on him. Donald Trump's the guilty one. Joe just happens to be just dumb enough to leave stuff laying around. It wasn't his fault. And so then whenever the prosecutor said that he wasn't going to prosecute Joe Biden, our president, because he didn't think he was mentally able to do it, the left shouted how he needed to be tried then because he was, mentally capable of being able to stand trial. So they went from not saying there was a trial to, you definitely need to have a trial because of his inability to be able to stand in a jury or on a witness stand in front of a jury and actually be able to defend himself. The irony in this is deafening. I just think it's hilarious that 1 minute they want him dropped and the next minute when they say he's not fit, that they want him to be tried, his own people. I guess it just goes to show we're not looking for logic here, folks, at all, because you're not going to find it. So, it just goes to show you, if you want to get out of something, I guess, in America today, just fumble around a whole lot, and people just say, the heck with it. You didn't do nothing wrong. You're not smart enough, or you're not mentally capable, unless you're trying to run the, free country of the world. So there you go. Think about that. Moving on, like I said, if anybody like to call in, 704-873-1400, give us a shout. Tell me what's on your mind. Donald Trump ended up going to South Carolina. Oh, we got a new number too now? All right, so there's another one here. Let's see. Let me do the on-air numbers. We maybe changed that here. So it's 844-STUDIO-4, which is 844-788-3464. So 844-788-3464. Do we still get the other number? Does the 704?
It still works.
Yep.
We're just gonna start reading that one.
Okay, so we're switching. See, it's been so many weeks since I've done it, I didn't realize they had changed the number kind of. So the new number is 844-788-3464. You still can call, it looks like, for maybe a limited time on 873 or 704-873-1400. But 844-788-3464 if you'd like to talk, either one of them. And then we got somebody. Evidently, somebody wrote the number down and decided to call, so that's how this works. So go ahead and we'll take them, Joe. See what we got out there. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Yes, Mr. Howell. How you doing, Doc?
Oh, I'm doing well, Mr. Howell. Good to meet you the other day at the poll. Finally got to shake your hand and talk to you in person, and that was wonderful.
Well, I know that's right. That's what I say about you. You look like a businessman.
Well, I'm taking care of your business.
You look like one.
I am. That's exactly what I am. And I'm trying to take care of y'all's business for you in Raleigh for sure. So I appreciate you coming out.
I understand that, and I appreciate that too. And I'll be the best man for the job. And you said something that kind of touched me there a little bit. And you said, I didn't know your friend was running. He must be running Democrat, right?
Well, no, he's claiming to be a Republican.
And then, but you said something about, you said he's a nice guy like you, but you said he don't have the experience that you have.
Exactly.
The experience always works. So you know what I'm saying? It always works. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
All right.
Brother McNeely, would you call me when you get through with your program? I want to say something, but I don't want to say it on air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me give you my number, and you call me at the show. That way you don't have to give your number out. My cell number, and I'm brave enough to do it, 704.
Wait a minute, sir. I done got you before. You know, I ain't going to get on your nerves and worry you then.
Oh, I know. 704-902-49.
704.
Yep, 902.
902. Okay.
4958.
4958.
4958. Yeah, give me a call after the show. We'll talk.
704-902-4958.
You got it, brother. You got it.
And one more thing. Could you have, let me speak to the producer right there. What's the name?
Joe Berg. I got Joe. Yeah, go ahead. Joe's listening.
Privately.
Oh, you want privately? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. This hold tight on the line. We're going to break here in about a minute and a half, and then he'll take you. So you just hold on, and he'll take you so we can do that without getting in the show. All right, so hold on with you. All right. Good talking with you. Just hold on the line, and he'll take care of you here in a second. We'll catch another call. All right. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, Jeff, this is one of your neighbors out in West Iredell.
Okay, well, good to hear from you. Good to hear from you, neighbor. What you got on your mind this morning? We got about a minute before we go to hard break.
I got two questions. I got one about the this gambling bill that was passed here recently.
Okay.
I'm just curious if you got which side you fell on that one. And the second question is, I've been hearing this rumor about wanting to do away with our fairgrounds or sell our fairgrounds property and make a horse track down there since sports gambling's legal now.
Okay.
I wanted to see where you stand on that.
I tell you what, can I answer that when we come back from break, or do you want to stay on the line and talk to me about it, or just want me to answer?
I'd just like to hear your side of it because I've heard some things that I'd like to hear your side of it.
I'll be glad.
So
I'll be glad to tell you.
I'll just listen. Thank you.
That'd be good. All right, I appreciate it. All right, folks, we got about 12 seconds. We're going to go to break. So, Joe, make sure you take care of Mr. Howell. Hang on real tight, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about those two questions that was just asked right there. All right, thank you now.
Keep it right here. Taking care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 W.
Well, the two headlines for our brand new week.
For all kinds of animals and hay too. We also have seed for a wide variety of forages for your animals. So come on by 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Statesville, or call us at 704-873-5758. We're worth the drive. Thank you again for supporting small family-owned businesses. God bless.
Now back to more Taking Care of Iredell with your host, NC Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here for the second part. And I had two questions asked of me of the caller that just came. And these are good because these are some of the rumors that are flying around and some of the mistruths that have been stated. So as far as internet gambling, which I think is what he's asking about, there was a bill. It come up twice. First time I didn't vote for it. Second time, after being gave more information, realized that we weren't really stopping anything. You're able to, and living in North Carolina, you can go and set up an account online in the Caribbean, the Bahamas, any of the basically American territories down there. They have these, I guess what you'd call them, shell companies, and you can set up an account and you can do internet betting through that it bounces off of it back to Vegas or back to Atlantic City to a sports bet there. And once I got showed that by the Office of State Budget Management, because they kept telling us we're losing $350 million worth of tax the way the bill's written, I got them to come to my office and sit down, and they showed me how to do it. And so after seeing that, I realized that, and it's not that this is going to make $350, we're losing $350 million with the tax level put on. To me, I didn't see what I was keeping from stopping happening as far as that. So, yeah, I voted for it because $350 million is revenue coming in now that was already happening. I'm not a big fan of gambling, but I am conservative and common sense to realize that, we might as well go ahead and get our part instead of giving it to Nevada or New Jersey. So to me, that part made sense. Yeah, there's a part of it that's ethical. I get that, morality, but we're not stopping people. All we are is just not collecting. And unfortunately, the state of North Carolina, we're already kind of in the gambling business, I would say, because we have a lottery. And if you go on the lottery website, there's a game called Carolina Keno, and it's played every 4 minutes. Now, that sounds a lot like gambling to me when some new game comes on every 4 minutes and you can actually order your tickets offline to join in to play Carolina Keno, not to mention the other stuff. I'm not a fan of betting. I don't really do it other than maybe with my friends when we play golf or something like that, but I'm not going to tell you I haven't. So that kind of answers that question, I hope. I felt like that was common sense since we were able to stop what was going on anyway, to go ahead and allow us to take that money and be able to use it for schools, roads, for good things. Maybe it's a bad intention, but it turns out it can be used for a good intention. As far as the horse racing goes, let me clarify this. We're not planning, or I'm not planning, on having the county sell the fairgrounds and move it from Troutman. I do know this much, that because of the internet gambling and whatnot, horse racing can happen in North Carolina, just like NASCAR. Now you'll be able to bet on NASCAR races, unfortunately, just like you can, probably already were doing. So there will be maybe one horse track built somewhere. They came to my office, the people from Kentucky Downs came and talked to me because I'm a chair on agriculture, but also from Iredell County, and they heard that we were getting ready to spend a lot of money redoing our fairgrounds and wanted to know if we would be interested with a private-public partnership because you're talking about maybe, 6 weeks out of the year they would use it for the horse racing. And so I contacted our county commissioners and said, do you want me to talk to these people and even proceed? And they said, well, yeah, go ahead and talk with them, because a lot of the stuff they're going to build will be duplicity, parking lots, grading, drainage, all that. See what they had to offer. We did that. They actually come. I met them at our fairgrounds. They looked at it. They said, this could be a nice facility here. Things could happen. That's the last I've heard. So all I really did was be in the line of negotiation. At the end of the day, I have no power as the state rep to bring anything here to Iredell County that the county commissioners don't want. And I think if that ever does come up, I hope it's a referendum so people can choose. I do know they were going to spend about $40 million, and we've got about 15 right now. And what we've set aside for the fairgrounds magically works out to about $55 million worth of construction. So that's where that whole thing come from. As far as them coming, I have no idea. All I did was listen to the conversation. So I hope that cleared up everything, because there's been a lot of false rumors spread about it. All right, we're going to take another call, I think, here, Joe, aren't we? You got it? All right. Who we got here? Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got here?
Scott.
Hey, Scott. How you doing, man?
I'm very well, very well. That caller that called in brought up an interesting point about rumors and innuendos. There was been
a lot of those in this campaign. Been a lot of those.
Well, there was an op-ed written by one of our county commissioners that seemed to stress that you are not accessible, and with your current competition's involvement with veterans, I went and looked at some state budget numbers and just help me to understand, was there an appropriation specifically for veterans in Iredell or Purple Heart Homes or something along that line that passed through this last state budget?
Well, that's a good question, and yes, actually it was an appropriation, and it was to Purple Heart Homes. I thought the odd thing about this was that nobody from Purple Heart Homes contacted me or my office, or Vicki Sawyer in her office, or Gray Mills in his office, or Mitchell Setzer in his office. Either one. All four of us had no conversation and were not contacted by them when they're an Iredell County business, I guess, nonprofit. But actually, one of my good friends who was in the House, now in the Senate, Bobby Hanig, was contacted, and he lives basically in Manteo, North Carolina, on the Outer Banks about doing it. And so Bobby submitted the actual appropriation for him. None of the Iredell County reps did. And happened to actually find out about it near the end of budget process. And there was a good possibility that it was going to be kicked out of the budget. And you can call it negotiation or you can call it begging, either which way, but I pleaded with them to make sure they left it in, because at the end of the day, maybe it can be used against me politically, showing a feather in a hat, but I know our veterans need housing, and I know we have a lot of homeless veterans in our area, and I'm willing to do whatever to help them, no matter what that means on my side in my election. That's irrelevant. So that's where the $6 million come in, and that's where I feel like I deserve some credit for making sure it stayed in the budget, because it was basically dead, and I brought it back to life.
Well, it's interesting to me to hear people in the community, be they involved or not involved, say that, well, I can't get Jeff McNeely to do anything for me. I've been in several circumstances that if I needed something done, the first person I call in the state is my representative, be it you, Vicki, or Gray. And I don't necessarily. I think it's somewhat your responsibility to be tuned in to what's going on in the community and step in if you see, hey, I can make a difference. But I don't think it's necessarily 100% of your responsibility to always be the one to jump in. People should contact you. That's why you have a phone. That's why you have a cell phone. That's
right.
Why you just gave that number out.
Yeah, just put it on there. I'm not hard to get a hold of.
and when you're at a community event like I've been to in the past 6 months, and a county commissioner is 2 arm lengths away from you and turns his back on you, that says a lot about the individual. And you've never turned your back on me and the folks that I'm involved with. And I will add to the comment about there was another comment in an op-ed about horse track racing and gambling. If you sit out here on one of our north-south interstates and watch the number of equine transports that go from New York to Florida twice a year, carrying lots and lots and lots of money and lots of tax revenue, you wouldn't have a problem with pari-mutuel betting or betting on the back of a bumper of a '67 Ford or whatever the case may be if the state collected that revenue, because it's going somewhere. So I just wanted to add that. But,
they're going to build a track somewhere in North Carolina. They are going to do that. It's going to happen.
There you go.
Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you. It might be, it could be here in Iredell. It could not be here in Iredell. Yeah. That'll be up to the people to decide. That's the way it should be.
I just think it's disgusting that the crossroads is just the place where people keep rolling instead of the crossroads is where people ought to stop. So thanks for your hard work. Good luck to you, and I hope the next week or so goes well for you.
Scott, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Absolutely. See you then.
All right. Looks like we got time for about one more. All right. We'll go ahead and take it. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, Jeff, this is Chris. I was just wondering, I noticed on your brochures, I do not see anything with Trump. Is Trump who you want for the nominee?
Yeah. That's the only one that's going to fix this. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good.
I mean,
right.
my brochures are business cards. It's hard to get a whole lot on there. I get as much as I can. I feel like that the big ones kind of are, I hate to say a waste of money, but I just don't feel necessary. I think a business card, I can put enough on there to do it. But, yeah, I think Trump's, like I said, he's the only one that can win. I was getting ready to talk about him and Haley, but we catch a lot of phone calls. I mean, Nikki Haley felt good about herself getting 40%. But, I mean, if she doesn't pull that in South Carolina, Lord help her. That's all I can tell you.
That's exactly. Well, Jeff, I appreciate it, and that's what I wanted to hear. I thank you very much, sir. You have a good day.
You're welcome, Chris. Appreciate you. All right, folks, can't take any more calls right now. We'll take some in the second half of the show as I talk about the 30 main things that I help do in the legislature to let people know that I actually really am doing some stuff down there. But it's not been easy. Understand, I showed up in a budget crisis in 19, and that went on for about a year or more. And then guess what? COVID come, and I had to work through 2 years of that, 800 and some days of Roy Cooper's executive order. So, hey, I felt like with the circumstances, best I could. Stay tuned for the second half, and we'll talk more about these things.
More Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, the two headlines for our brand new week will be the big time warm up and also the better chances for rain over the next couple of days. Starting out with some clouds and the low.
Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, Jeff. It's Dan Chrysler, your email pal.
Hey, Dan. Good talking with you, brother. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad today. Just wanted to see if I could ask the question I think I sent in my last email about, we got a hell of a crisis at the border there.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been busing these folks all over the country. Have you had a chance to talk to Sheriff Campbell about, Iredell and...
I did. I tell you what, just hold the thought because we're not on the air right now, but I'll bring you right in when we come to the second part. I've talked to Darren. We cannot find where any have been brought here because we don't know of anybody giving them any assistance as far as through an organization or not. Now, I'm sure there's some that have made their way to Statesville, but not by means of being brought here purposely. So that part we cannot find. Now, I can take you over to Winston-Salem, and that's a whole different story.
Well, I guess that was why I kind of asked, because my brother's a pilot for NetJet, and it's been 3 or 4 years ago that when China Joe took over and reopened the border, he in Greensboro, he said he saw him getting on planes, getting off planes, getting on buses. I mean, just...
Oh, I know.
Just like what you see in Texas.
We've got there's about 4 hot spots we know of, and got about 1 minute. Okay, before we get back on, we'll have the same conversation. You don't mind again here in a second, but there's about 4 hot spots we know about. Winston-Salem's one, Durham's another, Fayetteville's another, and where's that? I think it's Asheville. It's either Asheville.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Asheville. So those are the 4 hot spots that we know because they're going under the guise of Lutheran Christian Services. I'm not trying to throw a denomination under the bus, and they don't really get funded anywhere by the state, but they do get federal funding, and then they get philanthropy funding from their denomination. All right, we're getting ready to go back on there, so you hold tight. We're going to do this again. Hold tight, Dan.
Yeah.
105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, back here for the second half of the show. And hey, folks, it's just me and you today. We're just talking, taking calls all the way through the show because I hadn't had to do it. And there's a lot of people got a lot of questions. A lot of rumors have flew around, a lot of things. So it's time to get the honesty back out of here. Let's do that. And I got Dan on the line, so we're going to bring Dan in. Hey, Dan, are you still there?
Yes, sir, I am. How are you?
I'm good. Me and Dan have emailed back and forth a good bit here over the last couple of weeks. So I kept thinking we're going fishing after March the 5th, maybe on the 6th if it's a pretty day. But anyway, hey Dan, go ahead and tell us the question that you asked me while we were on break, and we'll start that whole conversation.
Well, my question was with the southern border being wide open, and you'd have different organizations and whatnot, busing these folks into every little town and city here in the United States, including North Carolina. I just asked you about if you would ask Sheriff Campbell if we've got any of those kind of hot spots here in Iredell County, and then I read something here a couple of days ago about where actually our tax money that goes to the feds is actually giving these people cash, giving them free this, free that. And
I mean, food and shelter, we're giving that, that's happening. To answer that first question, talking with Darren and also just kind of, looking at the landscape and seeing what we know from the NCGA, there's about 4 hot spots where they seem to land. And they're welcomed with open arms. I'm not saying we're ugly neighbors or nothing, but Asheville seems to be one of the hot spots where they can find a lot of subsistence there. Also, Winston-Salem seems to be another one. Durham seems to be a very popular destination where they can get help and whatnot. Free this and free that. And then also Cumberland County, Fayetteville is one. And a lot of this is working through the guises of different denominations, church denominations, not getting any state funding. We've kind of been accused of that, and we've tracked that down, and we're not. But they are getting federal help, and if they look after the immigrants, illegal immigrants, and then also through philanthropy and the people giving them probably don't really realize where their money's going. So I'm not saying North Carolina is not immune to having illegal immigrants pushed here, but I do feel like Iredell County is, I guess I hate to use the word good shape, but for now, we're not a sanctuary city or county. And I'm not going to tell you there aren't some that have come here. I'm sure they have, but nothing that's helping them that's organized that I can tell. Maybe they may be showing up at some food banks here and there, and nobody's questioning. I don't know how you police that.
Yeah, I guess that was my question. If you see it, what do you do about it?
If you feel like somebody's here illegally, contact your sheriff's office, and our sheriff's office works with ICE, immigration. Yeah. And we've actually passed a law to make other sheriff's offices have to work with ICE because they weren't. They were just letting them cash bail out and Amscray gone. So it's been interesting. Yeah,
and it's not surprising that those hot spots you mentioned are all pretty liberal areas.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
Yeah, you get what you vote for. As far as the fishing trip, I got to talk to my son. He's got a stocked pond, so maybe I. The only thing I can really catch is a cold. I'm really good at that. So I might stand a chance out there. But anyway, hey, you have a blessed day, sir. I'm going to let you go, and I'll keep in touch with you.
All right, Dan. Good talking with you, sir. Good talking with you.
All right, thank you. All right. Thank you.
Hey, I talked to you a little bit, folks, about the first part of the show. Looks like we got another caller. All right, they're hot today. I may never get my 30 things in. Come on. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Yeah, hey, Jeff, this is Keith. How you doing?
Hey, Keith, man, how you doing? Saw you the other day. Sound like you're doing all right.
Yeah. Hey, my thoughts on the gambling, Jeff. I play cards, and, I gamble. All I got to do is change my IP address, and I can say I'm in Reno. It don't matter. The point is, if you want to gamble, gamble. If you don't want to gamble or don't even like it, just don't gamble.
Well, I always tell everybody, in this case, don't download the app. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But it's there. We weren't stopping anybody. Now some people may say we're perpetuating it. Well, I don't think so. But I mean, we can cut out alcohol, tobacco, opioid drugs.
Yeah,
where's the list stop or start? I don't know.
If people truly want to do something, there's no way you can stop it.
No.
I've
always said I can't legislate you into heaven, and I can't legislate you out of hell. I can't. People are going to make choices, and they're going to do things that are not good for them, and I don't know how you stop it. And I'm not trying to make money off of that, but somebody else don't need to make money off of it either. Another state.
Well, and as far as you being accessible, Jeff, you're accessible as my best friend. All I got to do is call you. Every time I've called, you've answered the phone.
Well, I do that for everybody. So if anybody's called me and I ain't answered, they probably got the wrong number. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Jeff, good luck and keep up the good work, buddy. You got people out here got your back.
I appreciate it. I've tried to work hard for you, and I hope so. Thank you, Keith.
See you.
Tell you, man. Do we got any more? We good? All right, we good for a little second. I'm gonna run through my 30 here pretty quick, maybe, or as far as I can get. But one of the things that I wrote down: affirm parental rights over their children. The Parents' Bill of Rights. Y'all have probably heard about that, and it allows you to be involved with your child, especially on their education side. It was a really good bill. We've actually got some school systems, Carver and some of them, that have basically turned their nose up on this bill, and they're not even paying attention to it. So I assume we will address that in funding when we get back in the short session. I hope Carver doesn't mind raising their taxes so they can pay for their schools instead of the state. But that bill, I think, is been a godsend. It allows you now to know exactly what is going on with your children, whether it be through health or through their education or anything. Also voted to ban school indoctrination. That's your diversity, equity, inclusion, your critical race theory. We have banned that to be removed from our school, our curriculums. Nobody is any better than the other person. We are all equal, especially in God's eyes, and we should be equal in each other's eyes, folks. And any child that wants to succeed in America, we're going to find a pathway for them to do it, and I want them to. This is the only way we're going to improve life, is to raise all boats, not just certain boats. So I was totally for this. Got up and spoke about it. Also enacted universal school choice, and that would be your opportunity scholarships. This has been huge. We're basically, the system is overloaded, but we're working through it, so be patient. We've had many people reach out to take advantage of the opportunity scholarships now that we've expanded it. And I have nothing against our school system. We have a wonderful school system. Dr. Jeff James and his staff, they do an excellent job. They prepare our students and for their college education, but they also prepare them for their workforce, their job. But that's not true across the whole state of North Carolina. Understand that. That's not true. We'll go ahead and take it. We got a little time to get a break. Hey, I got a caller, and I like talking to you, so we're going to take it. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, Jeff, William here. How you doing today?
Hey, William, man, I'm doing good. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Of course, that's my fault, not yours.
Well, I stay on the road a lot, too. We're both busy men just trying to get things done. But anyway, I was just going to comment on Trump, people calling in. Of course, Trump is a popular man right now. He has been for years. And he is probably the only one that can fix this country or get it back in the right direction, at least, because that's what he was doing in 2020. And but the bigger picture we need to be all looking at as Americans is who he is going to pick for VP, and if they're going to be on board with taking the reins after he leaves in 24. 28, perhaps.
Yeah. You know, I truly DeSantis stepped out with about $38 million left in his campaign. So he could have ran a little longer. And when he stepped out, he immediately gave everything he had, behind Donald Trump. I ain't saying there's a done deal. I'm just saying it's interesting. So we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Seeing that Trump is a resident of Florida and DeSantis is, I don't think them two can team up as a team and run. I don't know legalities about that. I think that's not.
Well, that's kind of been a GOP rule, but it's not anything. Yeah. It's not anything written in law. So that can be changed. That can be changed.
Sure. I mean, if the Democrats can change rules as they go along, like NASCAR does, then the Republicans can too.
I got you.
Anyway, I just, my concern is that the man gets up there. We don't need any more tit for tat because we got enough of that mess going on as it is.
Yeah.
So I hope that he clocks in and goes to work and can get some things done, because there's three key things that have been undone since Biden took office. And it is Biden's fault in his administration.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that's going on up there in Washington, D.C. that's been going on longer than you and I have been living, Jeff. And I'll be 60 this year.
Well, me too. And the swamp is deep and dangerous.
Yes, sir, it is. What's the last four digits of your number, if you don't mind? I caught 704-902.
4958, but let me get off the air. Yeah.
Tenfold.
902-4958.
I'll pick your brain at another time and another day.
Okay, sounds good, William. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Hey, we're going to get back to our list real quick here because the next one's important, and I only got about 15 seconds, so we're going to hit it harder. Protected unborn lives. We dropped it from 20 weeks down to 12 weeks, saved over 12,000 babies. I'm trying to get to a heartbeat, folks. We hope we will, maybe if Mark Robinson gets in. Hey, all right, taking a break. Come on back. We got more to talk about.
We'll be back with more of NC Representative Jeff McNeely and Taking Care of Iredell after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely. Who we got? You might want to turn your radio down. Hello. 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 And I'm going to go ahead. They'll call back. They'll call back.
I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. MuralFest is back. April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College.
I don't know what this comment means.
Including Old Crow Medicine Show,
Jesse said,
CM
want
Bush,
to end
Turnpike
all
Troubadours,
these gang
the Teskey
shootings,
Brothers,
put
Nickel Creek, and more.
nasal spray
Tickets
on
and
the shelves
information
of a
at
liquor store.
MuralFest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's
We got John Galena watching.
on its way.
Oh, really?
St. Patty's Day is
Uh-oh.
right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attending is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food, and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Coin collectors, get ready! The Statesville Coin and Currency Show is coming to the Statesville Civic Center March 16th and 17th, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to the Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Call now to speak with NC Representative Jeff McNeely at 844 Studio 4. It's
talking
Taking Care of
faster.
Iredell on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here for the last part of the show, and I'm about to talk faster if I'm going to get all these 30 different points in I wrote down. Maybe I shouldn't have went that far. But, hey, the next one on the list after dropping the abortion from 20 weeks to 12 is upheld your Second Amendment rights. That one of those, that's the church bill I run, where if you have a church school and your church you're not legally allowed to carry, you are now. I fought for that, got it on the third try. It was unbelievably hard to do. We had to do a veto override. Most of these I'm talking about, veto overrides, we were able to do. Stiffened penalties for rioting. So if you're out rioting and looting and whatnot, we actually increased it up to a felony instead of a misdemeanor. That was a big thing in my opinion. Protected women's sports. So we're keeping biological men from being in women's sports. That's only common sense, folks. Voted to ban farmland grabs. Basically, that's where if it's within 50 miles of any of our military installations, you cannot buy it if you're a foreign entity. Wish we'd make the whole borders that way. Working on that. Outlawed sex changes for minors. Got to be 18 years old, folks. They should only be using it for the bathroom until then. So that makes common sense to me too. Raise teachers and employee salary, 7% average for teachers, 5% for state employees. All that did was just try to help them fight off Biden economics, folks, this inflation. Enhance school safety and training, put a lot of money into this so that all of our school systems across the state, regardless of the tier system, could get some monies. I'll try to put something out maybe on Facebook showing what we got for Iredell, Statesville, and Mooresville. Ended partisan election control. Now, right now, our state board and our county boards are 3-2 picks by the Democrat Party because we have a Democrat governor. This will make them 2-2. I think that way everybody's going to have to get along and nobody has an advantage, so you don't get into these crazy different annex that happen right around election time. We also funded rural infrastructure upgrades, water and sewer. That was one of the main things I've got for Statesville, Troutman, Love Valley. A lot of money brought in. Also Mooresville, Harmony, totaled out probably close to about $80-90 million worth of water sewer money so that you don't have to come up out your pockets. We're just bringing the money that they've already taxed you back, folks. That's a good deal. Ban COVID-19 vaccine mandates. So we made sure that nobody can block you, keep you off a plane, whatever, if you don't have the vaccines that they think you should have. You always have your religious exemption. Protected students from sex crimes. And I know this sounds weird, but the big thing now with this artificial intelligence, you're actually seeing a lot of this on social media where they're putting somebody's head on somebody else's body and passing that around. And so that wasn't even really anything we had as a law. So we've actually enacted laws to keep things from happening. A lot of nudity that was just wrong in I don't know how many ways. Slash your personal income tax, 15% reduction from $599 to $499. Stopped the sanctuary policies. That's where the state put in place on illegal immigrants. You can't have sanctuary cities in North Carolina. Cut government red tape. That would be House Bill 600, which had as a regulatory reform, stopped all kind of stuff in it. I mean, it was just crazy, some of the regulations that we've allowed to happen. And a lot of it's not laws we made. It's bureaucracy inside the departments come up with. See, we have to go back and fix that. And it's kind of people redefining what was written in laws and changing. So constantly changing from shall to must. We do that all the time to stop this. Expanded charter school access. There was a cap on them, so we've lifted that cap up. So if you want school choice and you want to get to a charter school, there will be more options. We've even looked into having a charter school for Iredell Statesville public schools. They feel like they need that for their transitional schools. They got places for them, and not all education is in a box. We want the best for your child. One of the big things I thought and worked on this real hard was banning compelled speech at colleges. It actually got to the point where you basically got shouted down or shut up if you were trying to put anything out there that might be of a conservative nature. It's crazy what we're allowing to be taught in our colleges and the atmosphere that our kids have to go. It's almost like you got to deprogram them when you get them home. Brought balance to the government boards. We talked about that, where all these different boards, the governor always had way more picks than the NCGA. Now we've evened it up where it's pretty much dead even, so we don't get any cronyism. This maybe will help with where money's handed out different ways and seems like they always end up with a position. Work to stop human trafficking. We funded for education on it and also for law enforcement to help with this. Folks, this is a huge problem. Charlotte, number 4 human trafficking import-export in the United States. Scary it's that close with that much going on. This is slavery. This is slavery, y'all. Banned what we call Zuckerbucks. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Meta, owner worth $1 bazillion, was going around and basically picking and choosing different districts in our state to give money to different county election boards instead of going through the normal channels of the state government. I know Durham got about $800 and some thousand in 2020, and they used it for voter education. You think about what that got you. All right, so we stopped that. Block costly home energy rules. And this is basically your green, woke, initiatives that are going on that they want you to do, some of the crazy stuff that they're trying to tell you need to do, and throw away your old appliances that are good, that are working, and get these, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and they have to be certain things. Y'all, you're the consumer. You ought to have a choice to pick what you want. It's up to you, and you pay your power bill. You ought to be able to have whatever you choose to have. It's America. I believe in freedom. I think it's important. Prohibited liberal ESG agenda. Now, a lot of y'all may not know what ESG is, but let me break it out for you. And I've talked about it on there. So, baby, that's where you're a business and your lender possibly, or the government wants to see if you're doing environmental things to help, or if you're doing social aspects, sharing your profits with your nonprofits, and how are you being a great community neighbor. And then the other part of that is basically government. You know, are you following all the rules that government regulates you to? And they keep wanting to regulate you more and more and more. This is a serious thing. Right now, there happens to be one bank, and I won't mention their names. I'll just leave that out. That's big in the Midwest, but they also have ties here in North Carolina, and they do a lot of ag lending. And basically, they are using ESG, environmental, I call it socialism, but it's social and governance, to decide whether you're able to get a crop loan to put your crop out. You know, they're wanting to tell you how to farm. I got a big problem with this. Once again, this is America. It's my land. As long as I'm not polluting, as long as I'm not causing issues with my neighbor, I have freedom. And I want to be able to grow the crops I want to do. I want to be able to, you know, raise my animals. I want to be able to do what I want to without being told by somebody what I've got to do, just so I can get a loan. And y'all, credit's a big thing in agriculture. Without it, it's hard to farm. I'm just telling you. We expanded nuclear energy. That was a big thing. For some reason or another, the left thinks nuclear energy is the worst thing in the world. And, folks, it's actually one of the cleaner fuels we have. So we've expanded it. So we allowed Duke to be able, Duke Energy and some of your other energy co-ops and whatnot, to change their portfolio around. So if they want to use more nuclear energy, they can. And that's actually in defiance of the federal government. Protect gas energy appliances. And this sounds real simple, but they've already done this in New York State. And Asheville, the city of Asheville, was trying to pass an ordinance that would ban you from having natural gas stoves. Natural gas, we got more probably than anybody else in the world. And so that's a great reason to go ahead and try to ban it, since we've got so much of it, and it's one of the cleanest, most efficient fuels we have. It's just a fossil fuel, unfortunately. So we stopped that. So now the city of Asheville cannot do that. Also invested billions in mental health. Folks, when we come out of COVID, the very young, our teenagers on down, and the very old, we did them a disservice. We basically kept them trapped, and that was not good. That was not good for mental development for the young, and that definitely wasn't good for mental competence for the old, for the elderly. So we're having to put a lot of money into that. We're also combating opioid and fentanyl, this crisis going on. We give law enforcement more abilities and help to be able to catch us. Our great Sheriff Darren Campbell and his office, his department over there, here not too long ago, y'all probably saw it, they stopped a trunk full of fentanyl, and that was enough to pretty much kill everybody in North Carolina in the trunk of a car. That's how serious this is. So we got a lot of things going on. And one of the last things, secured regulatory relief for farmers. And what that is, something I've worked on. That is the Farm Act, where we did away with some of the crazy regulations that EPA had put on, but other things too, and they're not just that. I mean, and we allowed different associations to form, and we did a lot of research. So a lot of good things. That's just the top 30. You can go on the NCGA website and find out a whole lot about me. Just go on there and click on bills I sponsored or co-sponsored. All right, folks, we're down to the last 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and pray for us because we need it. So, dear Heavenly Father, dear Lord, I just thank you for giving me the ability to serve these people that I do, my friends, my neighbors, Lord, and I pray you, dear Lord, you give me good health so I can continue and work hard for them. Be with us. Lead all of us and guide us as we try to serve each other best we can. I pray all this in your holy, precious Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen. All right, folks, next week, see you. Take care.
You've been listening to North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely. Join Jeff again next Monday morning at 11:05 for Taking Care of Iredell on News Talk WSIC.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7. WSIC, Statesville, Morrisville, North Charlotte.